Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you 20 military mods for Minecraft. So this video will focus on modern content with which you can build a perfect military mod pack for a survival adventure or fun fights on a custom map. The video will include mods that add guns, tactical equipment, military vehicles, world generation and animations. Let's head into the video. Of course, for a military mod pack, we need weapons, and we start with guns or other handheld weapons. And for this, I included 3 mods in this video. All of them will add guns, but in a different way, and each of them has their up and down sides. My personal favorite of them is Timeless and Classic 0. This is probably the most sophisticated Minecraft guns mod of all time, and you should choose this mod if you want guns that are as realistic as possible, like in games such as CSGO or Battlefield. And this mod really has everything you can think of. It has incredibly detailed gun models, great sounds and reload animations, you can inspect your weapons, like in Counter-Strike, which has cool animations, and even in third person, you can see yourself reloading weapons, shooting them and so on. But the mod doesn't stop there. You can also customize your guns, add extended magazines, barrels, stocks, scopes and other additions to improve the accuracy and overall strength of your guns. All of them are visually displayed, giving you the opportunity to craft your own individual gun, and the customization screen also looks beautiful, of course. The mod has a bunch of add-ons you can install with even more guns. And I would say, if you just want a mod that is as realistic as possible, this is the one to go with. You can even crawl with your gun. The mod basically thinks of everything. If you want your guns to have a rather vanilla style, the following mods might be better. Vix Point Blank is another huge gun mod with millions of downloads, and in contrast to Timeless and Classic 0, this mod tries to focus more on adding guns with Minecraft's aesthetic, without compromising on amazing animations and detailed weapon models. So this mod will also add amazing guns with shooting animations, reloading animations, the option to inspect them and of course customize them. There's also a broad range of modern guns like snipers, rifles, pistols or explosive weapons, and the guns can be equipped with muzzles, barrels, lasers, stocks, scopes, extended magazines and more, so you can improve your guns and make them really strong. I like the fact that the mod feels like it fits more into normal Minecraft, which makes this mod a good choice if you want to stay closer to vanilla Minecraft. However, the mod doesn't have as many cool animations and doesn't have such a high functionality as Timeless Classic 0. Also, they're not the same third-person animations in this mod, which might be important considering multiplayer servers. Besides that, of course, this mod also has an amazing quality, and it also gives you the opportunity to install many add-ons for new types of guns. But there's also a third mod to add modern guns in an even more simple style with less functionality. More Than Enough Guns is a mod that uses just enough guns but adds modern iterations of these guns, and you might ask yourself, what is different about this mod compared to the other two? First of all, it also focuses on a vanilla-ish gun design. Furthermore, in contrast to Vix Point Blank and Timeless and Classic 0, it tries to keep somewhat of a balancing in the game, because as you can imagine, guns are pretty OP, and while this mod is also not balanced, the guns are not as overpowered as in the other two mods, and have for example a lower fire rate, to prevent you from completely annihilating whole armies of monsters in a single moment. The downside of this mod is that it doesn't have as cool reloading animations, no inspection animations, and also nothing special when using third-person perspectives. So it is more lean, but better for a vanilla-friendly, balanced experience. I like the gun models here as well, and I think that whatever mod you choose from the 3, all are amazing, and definitely a cool addition to a military mod pack. LesRaisins Tactical Equipments. Now you have guns, but you also might need some extra close-range weapons or tactical equipment, like grenades, and the next mod will add exactly that, in a way that really resembles a well-known game, Counter-Strike. The mod will introduce a dagger, karambit, baseball bat, grenade, smoke, flash, and even a tactical shield. Because it uses the Timeless and Classic 0 as a base mod, it has all of the cool mechanics of that mod, like inspecting your knives or grenades. Also, using them has also some great animations, like swinging your baseball bat or throwing the grenades. It has a great quality and is a cool choice if you need more close-range weaponry. Of course, the most important thing about a cool military mod pack are fitting vehicles, artillery and other military equipment like barricades and so on. And well, Superb Warfare is basically a whole mod pack of military content in a single mod. The mod includes boats, helicopters, tanks, artillery guns, but also armor, a variety of guns, barbed wire, and even special stuff like drones that you can steer, mortars, or tools with which you can call in airstrikes. So this mod has a huge amount of content, and it is impossible to show all of it in this video. The vehicles have amazing models with cool firing animations like the artillery. The guns are also amazing from a POV perspective, although the third-person perspective is better in other mods that are specialized for guns. The mod will also introduce grenades and some close-range weapons. So first of all, whether you really need another gun mod if you already have Superb Warfare is up to you, but I still prefer the gun mods like Timeless and Classic Zero. And the vehicles, well, they are amazing for decoration purposes, but also for an epic combat experience, because in both first and third person, it is incredibly fun to use them to destroy your Minecraft world or fight against friends. There are different weapons for the vehicles, like shells, rockets, and even intelligence systems that will aim at targets and follow them. This mod is basically the successor to MCSP for those who still know it. And well, it is just super fun to play with. Next, we have an add-on to Superb Warfare, the Vintage Vehicle Pack. And while Superb Warfare already adds a couple of good vehicles, this one will really add a whole military arsenal to your mod pack. The mod will introduce a large range of military vehicles, like tanks, transport vehicles, Humvees, medical vehicles, and even a couple of helicopters, as well as fighter jets. All of these vehicles have weapons that you can use, and most of them can even transport multiple players, like the Black Hawk helicopter, tanks, transporters, and others. And honestly, this mod together with Superb Warfare is simply amazing, as you will have such a huge range of vehicles that are detailed, still fit into Minecraft, and it is just super fun to play with them overall. Especially the tanks are cool, but also the helicopters and fighter jets are great, although steering them could be slightly easier. This mod does not only look amazing, but fighting with it, shooting rockets and so on, everything works. Literally a perfect mod for decoration, for cool combat, and a must-have for a military mod pack. And we have another add-on for Superb Warfare, which is basically the new core mod for any military mod pack, because it serves as a base mod for many additions. So what does this add-on include? It includes some new armor, which looks really amazing, like a few helmets and vests, but that is not the main focus of the mod. It adds multiple variations of tanks and Humvees, which have beautiful models that create a perfect fit between a Minecraft style and detailed vehicle models. Of course, the mod also has the usual mechanics, like rockets, tank guns, and so on. And I especially like the painting variations for the different environments, like snowy regions, deserts or forests. The downside of this mod is that while driving, the models are not that optimized, because they sometimes float above the ground as you are ascending mountains, so this could be improved. Still, this mod is definitely also a cool addition for decorations and combat. Superb Warfare AshVehicle is also an add-on to Superb Warfare, but is somewhat different to the Vintage Vehicle Pack. This mod will also add many military vehicles that can use all kinds of guns. However, this mod focuses rather on a large quantity than detailed vehicles. There are especially many fighter jets and helicopters, and not as many tanks and transporters. So if you're looking for many fighter jets, this one is good. It even has a B-2 bomber and other special vehicles. But to be honest, many of them don't look as nice, because their models don't feel detailed enough and stand out in your world, like work-in-progress models. Still, it also adds some beautiful and detailed ones, like a tank with some kind of camouflage, and a few cool fighter jets, or even a helicopter that can tilt its rotors. So definitely also worth checking out, especially if you're looking for a specific vehicle. All the military vehicles I've shown you so far use the base mod Superb Warfare, which for most of you is probably the best pick. However, you can also use a different one, Immersive Vehicles, and its add-on VEB Automobilwerke Schwikau. This mod will also add all kinds of different military vehicles, like fighter jets and different types of tanks. However, what is different about this mod is that the models are not adjusted as much to Minecraft's blocky design and look really realistic and detailed. Furthermore, this mod is also much more realistic and complicated in its mechanics, because you have to actually construct your tanks, and also using them is not as simple as in Superb Warfare, where you just need a battery and some ammunition in your inventory. Besides the tanks, this mod also has many cars, huge planes, buses and much more. So if you're looking for something more realistic and complicated, but not as much focused on a fast and simple combat gameplay, check it out. Now that we have guns and vehicles, we also need proper armor to protect ourselves and will look cool. And there are multiple mods that can help you with that. One of these mods is Survival Instinct. This mod is set in an apocalyptic era, adding not only military armor, but also all kinds of armors which you would maybe see in an apocalyptic world. There's military gear, hazard suits, ghillie suits, firefighter armor and more. So this mod goes beyond just military equipment, but the armors look amazing. Besides the armors, the mod also adds some abandoned old structures, like gas stations and a couple of decoration blocks. So a lot of useful content, and especially amazing for a variety of cool armors. But if you really only want military armor and no other apocalyptic stuff, Warborn Resurgence might be a better fit for you. This tactical armor mod will add 5 types of armor with different color variations and changing backpacks or special editions like night vision. The downside of this mod is that at the moment it only adds the upper body armor, so no leggings and boots, but really cool vests, helmets and also changeable backpacks. The armor itself has a really cool style that looks detailed but also keeps the identity of Minecraft while doing so. So in case you really only want a military armor set, this is a better choice than Survival Instinct, which has more variation. The next mod on our list is LesRaisins armor. And this is the kind of mod you want to choose in case you want a set of military armors that resemble Call of Duty style skins. Because this mod will not only add hazard suits, but also Juggernaut armor sets, lightweight armor sets, law enforcement sets, and even a Joker armor set. And this equipment looks different to the normal Minecraft armors, and even somewhat like a different game, because the player model just feels different as you wear them. But to be honest, these armors are some of the coolest and visually appealing ones I've seen so far. So they're not the vanilla friendly option, and also not the normal military style, but perfect if you want some individual ones, which feel a bit like Call of Duty skins or Battlefield classes. We also need a cool world that fits our military setting, which is most likely, well, some urban area that is worn down, or even an apocalyptic landscape. And what could fit for that is Keerdm's Zombie Apocalypse Essentials, in combination with Lost Cities. This mod will alter the Lost Cities mod, so the cities are extremely damaged and worn down, like there has been a massive catastrophe, or like they have been abandoned for a long time. There are buildings, streets, tunnels, power lines, radio towers and more, creating a cool setting for any military battle with your friends. Of course, if you want cities that don't feel as worn down yet, you can also use the normal Lost Cities mod preset. For our next mod, we have Simply Traps. And this is a mod that is perfect if you want to build a military base and secure it with different blocks, like barbed wire, spike traps, slime traps or wooden spikes, and even hidden traps, in which invaders can fall. This mod is really vanilla friendly and only adds a few blocks in an easy way, so you can simply craft them, place them down and that's it. No complicated mechanics or recipes. Just simple blocks that damage or slow down entities and look cool when placing them down. That is why I really like this mod. And it is perfect to secure your military facility. Link is in the description. But a few simple traps might not be enough to build a highly secure military facility. And that is where Security Craft comes into play. This mod can turn any Minecraft building into a top secret base, with video cameras that can be accessed, automatic defense turrets, traps, retinal scanners, keypads, areas that are locked by keypads, laser scanners, inventory scanners and much more. You can add basically any security measure that comes into mind to prevent unauthorized players from entering your base and to defend it against monsters. One feature that might especially be interesting is that you can reinforce blocks to prevent them from blowing up. Overall, this mod is perfect if you intend to build a military base for decoration and also want to secure it. Besides the blocks with a lot of usability, you might also want to have some decoration blocks, if you want to build a realistic town as an arena for you and your friends to fight in, or if you just like to build more accurate and vivid structures. For this, Doomsday Decorations is a good choice. This mod will introduce a huge selection of decoration blocks to the game. It basically has anything you can think of in a modern town. There are cars, motorcycles, computers, construction site blocks, sandbags, lanterns, trash cans, toilets, fridges, hundreds of blocks. You can build any office room, store, hospital room and military base. However, this mod is more focused on an apocalyptic setting, so it also has some pretty scary blocks, like corpses. Furthermore, it is made for creative mode, so there are no crafting recipes for survival. That is why, for some of you, it might be a good pick, but not for everyone. If you are rather looking for survival mode decorations, you could also take a look at Chovy's Apocalypse. This mod will add a variety of weapons, decoration blocks and even some custom structures in which these blocks are displayed. All of these blocks and items can be crafted in survival mode. First of all, there are few melee weapons like bats, knives, axes and crowbars. There are also food items like cans, vegetables and sweets, and the mod is still being updated and is a much more simple mod that will add all kinds of content that can help you. However, I would count it as nice to have and not a necessary mod. It is pretty vanilla friendly in its design, and also the few structures are a cool addition for even more buildings that create a modern atmosphere. When using tanks, fighter jets, artillery guns or grenades, there will be many explosions. And of course we want these explosions to look cinematic, like in a Hollywood action movie. And I want to melt down your computer and turn it into a nuclear reactor. So, Explosion Overhaul will not only turn your CPU into a rocket engine, but also add super amazing explosion animations and mechanics. The sound design will change, the ground will shake, there will be smoke, and even redstone lanterns can be affected. This mod could be too much for your PC, but if you have a strong one, it will definitely make the explosions in your fights much cooler. Now we also have some cool explosions, and to add even more immersion while fighting, you can use EnhancedVisuals. This is a really simple mod that will just add some visuals and sounds, depending on what is happening in your game. If you're walking on sand, are burning, being damaged and so on, there will be visuals like blood splatters on your screen. And if you are on really low HP, you will even hear a heartbeat and your screen will start to pulsate. This is just a small change, but can enhance your gameplay even more because it adds some more excitement. So feel free to take a look at it. For our last mod, I have a special one that is a replacement for all the others. If you just want some PvP with normal guns, grenades, and basically want to play Battlefield or Call of Duty in Minecraft, you can also do that with one single mod. BlockFront is a mod that will introduce a whole multiplayer server system with different game modes like Capture the Flag, Deathmatch, Invasion and more. You can pick different classes, fight against bots and other players online in exciting matches on a variety of maps. It simply feels like Battlefield and is incredibly well made. So if you just want some cool combat without setting up a whole server and mod pack, and if the vehicles are not that important for you, check it out. Finally, there are of course many more mods which could be cool for a military mod pack, like Aviator Dreams, which will add large planes for your airports, Warfare Wings for some older planes for combat, mods like False Machine Guns, which adds more stationary and historic machine guns, or Trench Tactics for even more close-range weapons and tactical gadgets. This is it for this video. You can find the links to all of the mods in the description below. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more videos like this in the future, feel free to leave a like, comment or subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.